cards began to hit the fell, she began to open up and she started talking to the people at the table. At first it was fine, it was kind of like small talk, but then there was a moment when it wasn't. This is when she started talking about about his addiction, their relationship, the impact that it had on her, the family. But it wasn't coming from self. It wasn't clean energy. It was coming from a part, loud, unfiltered, desperate.
Let's go. There is a fine line between vulnerability and oversharing. And when alcohol is involved, unfortunately, that line gets drowned. One moment you're bonding with someone over your deepest struggles, feeling held, seen, and understood. And the next, you're cringing in silence while someone bleeds all over the room and nobody even asked for it. I was recently at an event, cards, booze, laughter, high stakes, low boundaries, and I watched that line get crossed. So let's talk about what happens when vulnerability is led by self and when it's hijacked by parts, drunk on victimhood. Hello, everybody. My name is Davy. I am not an alcoholic. I refuse to be anonymous. I am someone who lives a self-led life, alcohol-free as fuck, and I spend every wicked moment of that life helping other people do the same, like right now, baby. I'm in a room here, the Radisson Blue in Latvia, in Riga. Unfortunately, I can't turn the air conditioning off, and there's the hum in the background. So I hope that you can't hear it and it won't spoil your experience of today. Okay, so back to this party I was at. It was a kind of gathering you'd expect, really. Drinks flowing, poker chips clinking, small talk bouncing off the walls. Before the poker kicked off, though, everyone's kind of milling around talking to each other, and I got into a conversation with a friend. Let's call him M. And like me, M was alcohol free as fuck too, and so we clicked pretty instantly. And I asked him how it was. And I love it when you ask people how it was. Most of the time, you get some cursory, short talk, protective answer, right? But I know this guy quite well. So when I asked him how he was doing, he really opened up to me. And he was talking to me about his gambling addiction, talked to me about alcohol reliance, and he talked to me about his career change, relationship struggles. We really went there, right? He trusted me. And it wasn't because I demanded it. It was because he felt safe. I was there, I was present, I was listening, I was holding space, I was in my healthy masculine for him. And he was the same. And that allowed me to share with him. So I cross-booked stories with him, talked about my gambling addiction, my past with alcohol. Two men, no masks, no judgment, no shame. And it was beautiful. Those moments really are, because they allow another human being to feel normal. You know what I mean? Not weak, not broken, not like they made a mistake, not mired in shame, but hey, I fucked up. But here's this other guy who fucked up as well, and he seems all right, and he got through it. I can get through it too. And those moments are really, really important. But a few hours later, when I was playing poker, I found myself at the same table as his partner, and we'll call her S, and she was drinking. And as the cards began to hit the fell, she began to open up and she started talking to the people at the table. At first, it was fine. It was kind of like small talk. But then there was a moment when it wasn't. This is when she started talking about about his addiction, their relationship, the impact that it had on her, the family. But it wasn't coming from self. It wasn't clean energy. It was coming from a part, loud, unfiltered, desperate. And the table felt it. Everybody did. It was a real awkward moment. It was on her to play her hand. The time is running out very quickly. She couldn't stop. Everyone's looking at each other, like kind of like saying, he wasn't invited into this conversation, but suddenly we were trapped in it. Nobody knew what to do. Her vulnerability had no container. There were no boundaries. There was no consent. And it felt like gossip. It felt like betrayal, like a public breakdown disguised as storytelling. And this is what alcohol does. It convinces you that lowering your boundaries is connection. It's one of the pieces of perceived value that people actually cling to. And when I talk to them about why I don't drink, and they talk about why they do, one of the reasons they say that they drink is they say it lowers their boundaries and it really helps them. But is oversharing like that intimacy? Is it good? Is it healthy? Is it being seen like that the same as being held? I don't think so. I think it's a lie. I think it's part of the liquid lie. So we're going to have a short break. But before we do, I want you to reflect on this. Have you ever shared something in the name of being real, only to realize later that it wasn't real at all, that it was a part trying to be heard, screaming into the wrong room? Have a little think of that while we take a short break, and I have a little swig of water. Welcome back to the 1000 Days Sober podcast, where today we've been talking about alcohol, vulnerability, and what happens when your parts take the mic at the wrong time. Here's the thing. Vulnerability is really important. It's something that we spend the whole second week in the stuck phase of the Strive method talking about. But it's only when it's guided by self that you really bear the fruit, right? When you're in self, operating from the 8 C's like compassion, calm, connectedness, you can share hard truths in a way that nourishes everyone that comes into contact with you. But when you're drunk, literally or emotionally, your exiles take over. Those hurt, hidden, locked away parts, they finally see a crack of light and they burst out screaming, loud, raw, unfiltered. But instead of being held, they crash into discomfort and the room recoils and you leave feeling worse, not better. And this is why alcohol is so dangerous, because it shuts off those protective parts that say, hey, maybe not here, maybe not now. And when the exiles shout from that place, it's not vulnerability, it's victim consciousness. And victim consciousness creates villains. This lady at the table becomes the victim, her husband becomes the villain, gambling's the villain, alcohol's the villain. And there's no room for nuance, no room for ownership, no room for rising above the line and getting into an energy where we can solve something. And most importantly, there's no real support in that space because no one knows how to help someone who is screaming from a part when they never asked to listen. And at Strive, we teach people to share from self, to create healthy containers, to read the room, to honor the moment, not hijack it, because vulnerability without borders isn't brave, it's just chaos. Today's Daily Vow. Today I will not drink. Today I will honor the sacredness of my truth. I will not let alcohol loosen my tongue and tighten my pain. I will wait for the right space, the right time, and the right people to share what matters most. Vulnerability is not a flood, it's a ceremony. Alcohol makes you forget the difference. Remember that. Some reflections to think about as you go about your day to day. Have I ever dumped my pain onto others without asking if they were ready to hold it? Do I know what it feels like to share from self versus apart? And what kind of space do I create for others? One of safety or one of silence and discomfort? Please reach out to me on social media at LeeDavyCoaching or just hashtag at Strive Method and we will catch those replies. Share. You can really help people out there, okay? All right. If this episode resonated, please take a moment to rate and review the podcast. We do have a beautiful new Strive guide that I just created on masculine and feminine energies. And so anybody who's in constant conflict with their partner, please reply to me or send me a note at the strivemethod@gmail.com, or you can WhatsApp me at +44 753 789 6829. Just let me know that you want a copy of the free guide on masculine and feminine energies, and I will send that to you. Okay. If you want to join our 6-month flagship program that can help you become alcohol free as fuck and live a self-led life, head to www.thestrivemethod.com and join the waiting list. Until tomorrow, remember that you do not have to drink today. Okay, you will honor your sacredness truth, and you've got this. I've got you. All right, much love and strive on. I'll see you folks tomorrow.